What is going on? This is going to be the most jam-packed episode of The Spectators we have had in a while. And if you're interested in all of the stuff that has taken place in the last really 3 days, but we had a week full of stuff, let's get into it. Up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Spectators. I'm here with my boys, Brooklyn and Nico, and it is springtime, spring break in the Tampa Bay area. What's going on, boys?
What up?
I'm doing good, man. Like you said, spring break, and it's allergy season, and I'm fighting my demons over here, boy.
Yes, sir. Take your pills.
Yeah.
It ain't playing.
Not only is it
Pollen
allergy
season.
season, but we had a little bit of like a small cold front, but primarily like a wind front. I don't know, but y'all,
Yeah.
my lips are the most chapped of all time currently. I have my Carmex on deck at all opportunities. At all opportunities.
Yes, sir.
But good to be with you boys. And like I mentioned at the top of the show, this is going to be the most packed episode we've ever done. And it's crazy because we're not even packing it as much as we can because, disclaimer, Selection Sunday was yesterday. Today is Monday, the 14th of March. But we are not even talking about March Madness today. We're going to have a whole separate episode, likely tomorrow, dedicated to March Madness, predictions, and all that good stuff that March Madness brings because that is so exciting. It needs its own thing for it that I don't want to rush through, and I know you guys don't want to rush through. I'm excited for it. And make sure, if you're filling out brackets, that you join the Spectators bracket. You have a chance to win some really cool stuff. And it's a good little time. You get to compete against us, prove that we're bozos and you're not. And get those upsets. Pick your Cinderella. Get your winner.
An upset. Get you a nice little T-shirt at
That's
that.
what I'm saying.
Man. Some merch, some gear,
Yeah, make sure you guys hop in that. It's going to be on the ESPN Tournament Challenge app. So make sure you hop on that. We'll have a link in the description if you're on YouTube. And if not, check out our socials. It'll be all over there. So make sure you check that out for you guys. All right?
@_the Spectators.
This is true.
Don't forget the underscore.
Don't forget the underscore. We're trying to get rid of it, but it can't happen.
Man.
It can't
Very soon. We'll get there.
Exactly.
We'll get there.
But we're going to start today because, like I said, it's spring break. And you know what spring break means? You guys know what spring break means? Spring training. Why is that relevant?
Hold on.
Why is that important? Why is that important?
I thought we were in a lockout. What happened?
I thought so too.
It gives me a job.
Does that mean?
Baseball
Man,
analyst, baby.
Listen, man, if there's anybody that's excited about this lockout getting over with and getting right into spring training, it's your boy, man. Like, I've been a fish next to the ocean waiting, just like I'm sure.
Looking at the waves crash against the wall.
Getting so close to me, so close, and then running away, going far, and then coming so close and going away. But finally, it's touched us, and we're here now. And man, as soon as that ban kind of went up, and we got a new CBA, free agents have been going crazy.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, the really cool thing is, we were all together actually outside of Omar. Shout out Omar, New York man. But the rest of the Spectators were actually together when that happened. We were we were hanging out, trying to get some stuff done. We were watching that new Unplugged video, which if you haven't checked out, go ahead and watch that. Really cool little MMA action behind the scenes of a fight before it happens. Really, really cool stuff. And Unplugged is going to be an awesome series that we're doing over on YouTube. So check that out. But we were watching that and kind of getting all that set and talking shop and doing what we were doing. And we get the Jeff Passan bomb because he's just the Wojnarowski of this league that we love so much. MLB is back. And we truly expected the free agents to start like blood rushing in. It took a couple days.
We thought we were just immediately going to get put into an all-time Spectator sweatshop, and we've been easing into it, thankfully.
It was definitely an ease in. I think it was smart, truly, because if everybody started signing 5 hours later, there's going to be some investigations going in about tampering. It's like, wait, how'd you get a whole contract read and written and all that in 5 hours. A little weird,
Yeah,
a little weird.
exactly.
So happy
What
that
do you
it
mean
took.
by that?
Yeah, exactly. What do you
What do
mean
you
by that?
mean? What do you mean by that?
So happy it didn't take immediately. It gave us some time to kind of prepare too, and the rumor mill has kind of been flowing too, which is really fun,
Oh
especially
man.
for the big names, which the two true big names still are not off the table yet, which is crazy. But a lot of the big names have gone, and we've seen a lot of money being thrown at these guys, and you know, coming back, one of the bigger names left, probably the biggest pitching name that was left, Carlos Rodon. He's going over to San Francisco, and he's joining a
Yeah.
staff that really, really broke out last season. They lose Kevin
Yeah.
Gausman. They replace him with Rodon, who was almost as good as Gausman when he was healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a risky deal, 2-year, $44 million. He has been injury prone. This is something that he hasn't been longevity pitching in this league for the last couple of years. But if he can stay healthy, he's only 29, and he's one of the better lefties in the game, and they got a good one over there.
Yeah, and it leaves the Giants still contending for the NL West spot. So
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean,
100%.
you can always use a left-handed pitcher, especially with Rodon and how he had a pretty good year last year in 2021. So I feel like he deserved that contract. And again, you're not talking about like a team like, the Rays with the low payroll or something like that. You're talking about a actual pretty successful organization in San Francisco Giants. They had a dynasty going on at some point, in the years. So money, that 2-year kind of deal to all of us is kind of like chump change in a sense.
Yeah.
But for like a really good pitcher though, because I mean, you look at the numbers. Yeah, he didn't have a 2020 season, whatever, because he's injured. 2021, he doubled a little bit of injury, but again, he had that not perfect game. I'm sorry,
No-hitter.
No hitter.
Yeah.
He had that no hitter, and again was a big key role in that Chicago White Sox team. So a great pickup for the San Francisco Giants, in my opinion.
Yeah, and you had
Absolutely.
to fill a void with losing your ace essentially. I mean, I know
Yeah.
Logan Webb kind of turned into the ace towards the end of the year, but
Yeah.
you had to fill a void, and they certainly did with that. And
Mm-hmm.
they made a lot of moves trying to, because I don't think anybody fully expected the Giants to be as good as they were last year outside of the Giants organization, because of course they say they thought they were going to be great. But this year there's expectations. There just simply are expectations. So, you go get him. They go get Alex Cobb. They re-sign Desclafani. I never know how to pronounce his name, so I apologize.
Desclafani, yeah.
I
he
think
was good.
that's right there.
Yeah.
And then you also get Buster Posey retiring.
Yeah. So
Big.
big shakeup over there for a team that really overachieved. I don't really know how to rate them. That's for a different episode, but they made the moves they needed to replace what they've lost. So really
And
cool
just
stuff.
to give a piece of news staying in that division, Fernando Tatis for the Padres ends up getting a fractured wrist, and he's going to miss about 3 months.
Yeah.
So that's going to be tough for the Padres. In a dogfight between the Dodgers and the Giants for that top spot in the NL West. Those 3 months are going to be crucial without him.
3 months
it's
worth
real.
of games without the second best young hitter in baseball is really tough.
So
Arguably one of the best shortstops or one of the face of baseball right now.
He's literally
the face
maybe
of baseball.
the face of baseball. I think he might be the face of baseball right now.
And again, this is very detrimental. Not only to the Padres, but to him as a player, right? He didn't get to play as much as we'd like to have seen him last season, dealing with injuries as well.
Yeah.
And then again, too, this broken wrist is another kind of spot, right? Because he gets another fastball and he, takes one off the wrist, re-aggravates an injury. You don't want to rush these kinds of things, especially with your superstar. So, I mean, it's a detrimental thing, but the Padres right now, I think, really need to worry about some other things, aside from, their superstar getting hurt as well. But
good for the Padres that now the MLB playoffs are actually expanded with the new CBA. So now we got 12 teams.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't even talk about the new CBA. New CBA gets done, right? That's why the lockout's over to begin with. We get an expanded 12-team playoff. The players fought really hard to make sure it didn't go to 14. Shout out. I think 12 is a cool number.
I like 12.
I don't love it. I do think I like the format it was before. But 12 isn't bad by any stretch of the imagination. It doesn't fully invalidate the regular season yet. I really hope it never goes past 12. It does let a random team or two get in, and you will see that random team or two win a World Series sometime soon. So it does add some variation. That's just the way baseball is. Like, if you can get into the dance, you got a chance. And
shout out Washington.
yeah, shout out Washington, shout out the Royals, shout out. There's plenty
so
of teams. There's so many teams that have done it.
The
Cardinals have done it a million times. I mean, and the Giants have done it a handful of times.
For a lot of people.
Exactly,
it's crazy.
And so, it's. I'm excited to see those teams potentially make it in there. Maybe steal a series from the Dodgers or the Yankees or whoever it is that's like expected to win a series, and you'll wind up facing a team that's hot at the right time. That's just how the playoffs go. Also, another thing, universal DH officially in.
Yes.
And then speaking of the Nationals, Nelson Cruz is the first big signing of that new universal DH, because now you get those DHs that wouldn't have any type of place in the National League. Mm-hmm. Now they're a force.
Yeah, it's kind of a crazy thing that is very understated. The DH being AL only for so long meant guys like Nelson Cruz, really at this point in his career, Castellanos, Big Papi, Stanton. I mean, he's playing outfield a little bit now, but guys like that, JD Martinez, Jordan, these were guys that could only play in the American League if their contracts ran out, which significantly lessens their value inherently, because half the teams in the league they have no use for you.
Yeah.
Now
and then you go on the longevity. Yeah, you go on the longevity side of it. Guys like Albert Pujols, who's on his way out. Joey Votto, who's a couple of years away from not being able to play the field. Those guys are now able to play till they're 40 if they want to, because they don't got to play the field. Let them sit on the bench, give them a bat, boom.
Well, and the cool part about it, you mentioned Votto. Sorry to cut you off, Nico, but Votto's going to be able to be a Red for the rest of his career now. He just will. Yes. And that's cool.
Fire.
That's awesome. Great. That's awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think we'll be seeing a similarity in the quarterback sense, that you see like older guys and being quarterbacks, older guys kind of being DHs, right? What's the saying in baseball? If you can hit, you won't sit. Yeah. So it gives teams, again, in the National League now, kind of a fair play, right? So like you always get those National League teams playing at home, and then again the American League teams lose that advantage too of not having their pitchers hit throughout the season. I mean, there's the small few of pitchers that'll argue that they'd like to hit continually, but overall,
the cool thing is you have that option still. It's not a forced thing. Shohei Ohtani and Joe Madden brought this up, which classic Joe Madden, not knowing rules because he's not actually a good manager.
I'm disrespected. I feel disrespected.
He's not a good manager. In fact, he tries his actively best to lose games. It's really funny.
Manager of the year,
but
Cubs won the World Series. Go ahead.
Did you watch that World Series? It was a master class of bad managing. That's not the point. Point is, Joe Madden asked the question. He goes, well, is Shohei Ohtani still able to hit? Because when he pitches, I want him in my lineup. Yes, dude. It's still the same rule.
Yeah.
You're in the American League. Nothing's changing. You can still hit. You don't have to have a DH. This is an option. Which is a cool thing that the MLB has done, that it's not forced. Like, if you want to sub out your pitcher to hit, you can. And now you can do that league-wide. Another thing, this isn't taking place this year, if I'm not mistaken, but the shift is now officially banned. I don't know how they're going to be handling that, but it is a next year issue, so nice. We'll see how they handle it. Like, is it going to be zones? Are they locked in? Are they going to have cleats glued onto the ground until the ball's hit? Like old Little League? I don't know. But
I think just keep it as a limited thing. I've said this before. Don't let the infielders touch the outfield grass. Keep third and shortstop, second and first baseman on either side of second base. And you make that work. Whatever you want to do within those zones, cool.
I'm cool.
I think that's perfect.
I'm a fan of either or. I like the creativity you get with hitters and how creative they can get whenever the shift's on. We've seen Robinson Cano and other hitters push bunt, to the opposite side.
Yeah.
So it does create a fun kind of aspect of baseball. But
does anybody want to see? Is anybody buying a ticket to see Robinson Cano bunt? No, he's one of the strongest, most powerful second basemen in baseball history. Nobody wants to see Cano bunt. Nobody wants to see Joey Gallo bunt.
No.
That's fair.
Nobody.
Well, to be on that, what
I mean, people do. People are weird. There's plenty. If you go on Twitter and scroll through, plenty of people are like, just bunt.
Twitter's a cesspool to begin with.
That's not why you sign a home run hitter. You don't sign Barry Bonds to put down bunts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we're talking about some guys with some power here, we were on that West Coast, moving a little bit more towards the Central. How about Corey Seager and Marcus Semien getting traded to the Texas Rangers? The Rangers have been making some pretty big moves. Corey Seager was batting above 300, I believe, last season, so he had a pretty good year. And he's an average guy, but he can stay healthy. For the most part,
that's the big thing with Seager. We talked about that when that trade happened because that was a little bit ago now. But the cool part about that trade is that the Rangers see that they're going to be good in about a year or two. And I think they know it. They're not even, I don't even think there's any active attempt to be great this year. They made a trade as well, and this one's kind of the more relevant one. They trade IKF, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, to the Twins for Mitch Garver. And so now they go from a shortstop, third base kind of a situation. I think IKF was going to play third for them now, even though he caught a lot last year. They got a catcher who can hit. And if Mitch Garver's healthy, they have three legitimately good hitters with Semien, Seager, Garver, and Nate Lowe over there at first base too. So their lineup is starting to kind of become... You see it. You see the vision coming, and you see if you can add some pitching, how this team could be really nice coming up.
Yeah, but I think ultimately though, in the AL Central, Astros still kind of run that. I'm sorry. In the West.
The West. The West.
Central. I think the Astros still run that division. They got the best pitching, and it's tough. Justin Verlander's expected to come back this year. He was throwing a couple sim games. Just yesterday, actually.
It scares me.
And during live BP. So, yeah, I completely forgot about him last season because he didn't play. So, it was nice kind of, seeing that. But, again, he's still, Verlander and there's Lance McCullers, Framber Valdez. You got arms for days.
Yeah, well, and you mentioned the Astros, too. They beefed up a little bit of utility over there as well. They signed Nico Goodrum. Switch hitter that can play literally every position on the field besides catcher, and he's had a decent little career over there in Detroit. Nothing crazy, but he's just a nice player to have, and they got him on a friendly deal. I think he's on a 1-year prove it for like $2 million, and then they also get Lewis Brinson, center fielder, just replacing Miles Straw essentially, a little bit of depth in the outfield. If the Astros can bring back Correa, who's still on the board. And the talks
that's what I was just getting into.
The talks are that he is probably gonna end up an Astro again. Is what it seems like. Then
really?
that's what the
talks are intensifying for him to stay.
Those are the direct quote essentially. And so if they can re-sign him, I mean, is there any plausible thing in your brain that says that this isn't the AL favorite? I don't think so.
No. Well,
it's crazy, man.
I mean, I think it's a surprise that he's kind of sat there, but for a reason.
He's just trying to get his money.
Honestly,
he wants that bread.
Yeah,
exactly.
Maybe. Yeah,
he wants that bread. And he's like, y'all gonna give it to me. Y'all gonna give me that 3
And bro, he's looking at that Semien money, that Seager money that they got from signing with
that Baez
money. That Scherzer money.
I mean that money.
3 years, $130 million.
Yeah, so he's looking at those and it's like, give me the cheese. I need it.
I mean, and does he deserve to get paid? I mean, let's take a vote.
Yes.
Look at our jerseys. If you're listening to this and not watching, we both got Yankee jerseys on.
Listen, let's take a vote.
And we will even say Correa has the respect of us, regardless of the cheating. And we will always hold that with the Astros. And we've done so many countless tirades and rants about it. All the banging, we've done it all. Correa has the respect, and he deserves the money.
Even outside of like the whole cheating and everything, Carlos, it hurt because Carlos Correa was always it was a player I kind of looked up to when I was playing a little bit, as I was in high school. He was such a that leader, and even I saw it in the 2020 postseason. He was yelling at Framber Valdez not really yelling, but kind of giving him that pep talk and that big bro talk, and just being a leader in that aspect. So again, He deserves the money.
You know what Carlos Correa has in him that I think is amazing. Yeah. He has that inner villain in him. And he doesn't mind it. In fact, he loves it. He loves being hated. He loves hearing boos. And that's stuff that, like, wins games. I mean, if you look at another guy who kind of feels that way, different sport, but, like, Trae Young, like, if you boo Trae Young, he's dropping 40 on you. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And Carlos Correa is the same way. Yeah. And so he doesn't care about all the trash can talk. In fact, he's kind of happy his team cheated because now he gets that the rest of his career, and he has that flame that's never gonna die, and he has always something to prove. He won a platinum glove last year. This guy is elite defensively.
Yeah,
he is the second best offensive shortstop in the game. Yeah. And he's still young.
Speaking of shortstops, Trevor Story is one of the bigger free agents still on the market.
Still on the market.
Any idea on any suggestions on where he might land?
So he's probably going to get a 1-year deal is kind of what I'm thinking, right? Because he had a down year last year. No matter what, the Coors effect is always an issue when you're looking at signing a guy from the Rockies. You don't want to give him a 10-year deal and then he can only pull balls for home runs in Coors because the balls fly out there a little bit more. So he's probably going to get a 1-year deal. I was convinced he was going to go to Houston because I didn't think Correa was going back to Houston. Now that that's looking more likely, I've been seeing a lot of Angels. I've been seeing that the Twins might make a run for him because the Twins have been the most aggressive team I have ever seen that is incredibly mediocre last year. It's kind of cool.
They're making moves.
It's kind of cool. I don't think these moves are even good. I think they've gotten worse pretty significantly during these moves, and I think they've, hand-locked themselves into a worse future to try and have a 12 or a 6 seed now, or however many teams get. Like they're trying to scrap into the playoffs, right?
Well, the one thing you got to think though, they've made the playoffs the past couple of seasons. Every other season, not too bad. Whether it be the wild card or the division series, if they made it there. But the Twins have made it to the playoffs in recent years, but they need to do something, in a sense, and change something because it's not working. They traded their ace arm in Jose Barrios. They had a great hitter in who was the third baseman? Is it Miguel Sano? I believe when he got sent off or he didn't perform as well after his breakout year. They have a lot of guys that show life a year and then aren't consistent in the years to follow. Right? It may be one guy, Byron Buxton might go off one year, and then the next year it's Jose Barrios on the mound being the kind of the front runner and the front dog. So something has to change ideally, and the Twins are making money moves right now in their eyes.
Yeah, and that's
Sonny Gray trading for Gio Urshela and Gary Sanchez.
That's great.
Those are moves that could help. Well, we'll see how it all plays out. But going back to the Trevor Story landed on the Angels, I do really like that though because I feel like this year there's something just rumbling that I really do feel like this is the Angels' year to finally get to the playoffs. If everybody can stay healthy.
That's the biggest problem.
It is.
They still don't have enough pitching. They did go get
getting Syndergaard.
They did get Syndergaard. They did get Michael Lorenzen, 2 pretty decent starters, right? Especially if Syndergaard's healthy, he's good. But that's another if.
Relief. But yeah, fine.
Well, Lorenzen was starting a lot of games last year.
No.
Was he?
Yeah. And then they get Raisel Iglesias.
Yeah. Iglesias was a good pickup as well.
So, I mean, they have better arms. They have no depth, though. Like, I hate their bullpen.
No.
Their starters still scare me because I don't trust. If you're going into a game 2 of the playoffs, are you happy that it's Noah Syndergaard? Like,
no, not at all.
You're playing.
It depends what you're getting, and that's the thing. In hindsight, you don't know what you're getting right now.
Well, and here's what's gonna happen, right? You're gonna be the 6 seed. You're gonna go against the Astros as the 1, and you're gonna play Justin Verlander and then Lance McCullers game 2, and you're going Lance McCullers, Noah Syndergaard, and then game 3 it's Framber Valdez versus Michael Lorenzen, like, or I don't even. It's not it, and then that's in the.
Well, I never said for them to make a run. I just expect them to.
I'll tell you, Framber Valdez.
Whatever happens after that, that's on them.
He's nice, bro.
I just want Mike Trout in the
He's
playoffs.
nice, bro.
No, we do. I mean, the best
Stop
player
wasting
in
his
baseball.
career.
I would love it. I don't see it though.
Stop wasting his career.
I agree.
Maybe if they can add Trevor Story and he is actually
and that's what I'm saying. Like you get Trevor Story, Anthony Rendon, you got Brandon Marsh and Joe Adell that are spunky young guys. Otani, Mike Trout, like
Jared Walsh,
David Fletcher could be a utility guy.
Don't you say his name in the streets.
So we've been jumping everywhere from east to central. Let's go, from the west to the central. Let's go to the east now, and let's give some Phillies fans some hope. What do you guys think about Chris Bryant potentially signing with the Phillies? You think that's still a yay or maybe more of a no right now?
Here's what I'll say about the Phillies. Right, the Phillies know that they need offensive production out of third base. Yeah. They know they need offensive production out of their outfield. Not named.
He can do both.
He can play both, which is a great fit. They know that they had maybe the worst relief unit in like MLB history last year. Like they were historically bad. They were terrible. They had like several losses given because of them, and they didn't make the playoffs because of it. And then because they didn't make the playoffs, the Braves did make the playoffs and then won the World Series. So your bullpen was so bad that you handed a World Series to a division rival. Tough scenes.
They did pick up a couple of relief pitching and been working on that pitching.
Yeah, and that's where
Brad Hand and Corey Knebel.
And Jury's Familia.
And here's the crazy thing about those arms. All of them are long in the tooth and not what they once were. So this is it's either gonna be they have resurgent years or this bullpen stays equally as bad just with names that we know. And I really do feel like it's the latter on that. Brad Hand was atrocious last year for the Blue Jays. Atrocious. I think he got cut at some point. Like he was terrible. Juris Familia's kind of had a weird career, and Knebel's fine. He was good on the Dodgers last couple of years, so he'll probably be the best of the group. No, but the Phillies, if they can get Chris Bryant, I like them offensively as a team. They're still not crazy balanced. Their defense is still embarrassingly bad.
Offensively, if they can get, their main guys going, Bryce, Didi, Reese Hoskins, JT Realmuto, if he can, perform offensively.
Have a little bit of a better year, yeah.
If Gene Segura can be more productive, get on base more, their offense can be great. And then the addition of Chris Bryant.
Yeah,
that could be great. That'd be a really good offense if they can be healthy again.
And they'll go as far as their pitching takes them.
Yeah, they got a good and their bullpen. They took Jose Alvarado. What's that guy? Connor Brogdon. They got a couple arms in there that have.
They have a lot of talent. They have a lot of talent.
They do.
They just need to learn how to put it all together.
I think you know what the real issue there is. I think it's an organizational thing.
Gabe, maybe the manager.
I don't think this is like you can have all the talent, but I don't think they know how to cultivate talent over there. I think they're just trying to bring in guys with it and throw it at the wall and hope that this team wins a division. And are you gonna win a division where you have the reigning champions getting the best player on their team back next year? Are you gonna win a division where you have the Marlins with 15 to 20 elite young starting pitchers getting ready to make their debuts? Sixto Sanchez, I think, is out for a significant amount of time now. I think I saw before this started, and they don't even care because Sandy might win a Cy Young this year.
Yeah, Sandy out. Yeah,
And then you have the Mets. The Mets have the best rotation I've ever seen.
They got strong. No, they have literally a nice strong three right now. And I don't know now.
They have Taijuan Walker.
DeGrom. Yeah,
if DeGrom plays.
Jacob DeGrom, if he plays, I don't know. He might get that Ben. I was talking to Brooklyn a little earlier about this. I think he might honestly get that Ben Simmons treatment right now.
No.
I said this to Nico. Don't look anything into it. Just because he says he's going to test free agency after the season, that means nothing right now. It means absolutely nothing.
You know what I think that means?
Think twice about it.
You know what I think
that means? More money.
It's DeGrom saying, if I get less than 2 runs a game scored for me again, I'm gone.
Yeah.
I think that's what that means.
Man, okay,
I look at it as a scare tactic. That's it.
He said,
whether it's to the organization, whether it's to his team, whatever it may
better
be.
Hit the baseball this year.
Exactly. But other than that, don't look at it any other way, because if the Mets produce this year, DeGrom is going nowhere.
Well, I mean, and
Simple
let's
as
say,
that.
let's just say, DeGrom leaves. let's just say, right?
Okay.
He leaves, right?
Okay.
We still have what? Who do we still have? We have
Max Scherzer.
Max Scherzer. He just signed.
Chris
Max
Bassett.
Scherzer. Chris Bassett just signed,
Taijuan
which
Walker.
is a great funky arm. Taijuan Walker. You still have Cookie Carrasco, who might come back. Whatever he can. He's average. He can throw you guys strikes. You got relief guys that a bullpen that's actually really good, and then your offensive production.
The bullpen
healthy.
The bullpen suffered a little bit, losing Familia, losing Aaron Loop. Especially Aaron Loop had a career last year. That's tough. Those are some tough losses.
Yeah.
And those are probably like two of their key bullpen pieces outside of their closer Diaz. Diaz was Diaz.
But man, you look at the bats, and I could go ahead and name 1 through 9 right now, but there's names everywhere. And it's people that could produce too. Yeah. And it's a scary team if they live up to their potential.
The worst hitter in their infield coming into next year might be Francisco Lindor. I don't know why I said Jose. Francisco Lindor.
Yeah.
He might be their worst offensive player in the infield next year, and that's kind of crazy. I mean, not including James McCann because basura, but also James McCann might be the worst contract in baseball. I said it the second he signed it, and I just want that to be known. I want y'all to know I was right. He stinks.
Yeah. There's a lot.
So be careful with the Mets this year. Be very careful with the Mets.
Trading for Chris Bassett was way bigger than you guys are going to think. Chris Bassett is like fringe elite. Like he's a
on
top
paper
20 pitcher.
On paper right now, they might have one of the best teams in baseball.
No, they absolutely on paper they're probably
on paper.
But it's the Mets, and you know what we say every single season.
Exactly.
What's the phrase? The Mets gonna Met.
Mets gonna Met.
Oh,
Mets gonna Met.
Well, listen though, but the Mets I don't know. This year's a little different though. I feel like
we say that,
but here's the thing.
Yeah, I guess
we say it every year along with that saying every year.
So
that's why on paper they're there. There's no question about that. They're World Series contenders if they live up to their potential across the board on paper. But if the Mets are gonna Met.
Yeah, the Mets are gonna Met.
That's it.
I'm just seeing on my.
That's it. All that's for nothing.
In my view, I'm just seeing, man, just nice Noah Syndergaard, or I'm sorry, not Noah Syndergaard. Pardon me. Part of my excuse. I'm talking about everyone here. Max Scherzer getting a nice little bump start here. I'm sorry, Max Scherzer getting a nice little bump start here. Seth Lugo coming in, Edwin Diaz. There's just so many guys just coming in, and then, man, again, there's still moves that the Mets still have money to make. Still, like they've made some big moves. They can still make some moves.
They can't keep spending money.
But again, Nico, this just all rounds back to on paper they're great, and Mets are gonna Met. It's that simple. Bro, Pete Alonso, Robinson Cano when he comes back, Eduardo Escobar, Lindor, Kana, Marte, Brandon Nimmo, Dominic Smith, Jeff McNeil. Like, do I have to keep on going?
So many names.
Thomas Nito. Like, do I have to keep on going? The Mets are disgusting on paper. Disgusting on paper. I don't got to go through the starting rotation again. They're disgusting on paper.
But somehow they're gonna finish third in the NL.
Third place, baby. Third place.
They're gonna finish third in the NL somehow.
They're gonna get below the Marlins this year, and it's gonna be tough.
God,
it's gonna be tough to see.
So if Freddie Freeman signs then to Atlanta, then are they again another big contention still in the NL East at that point?
I mean, I think the Braves are a contender regardless of what happens with Freddie Freeman. Okay. Because if they don't get Freddie Freeman, I think they full pivot to Anthony Rizzo. I think they get Anthony Rizzo. No matter what other team wants him, they give him way more money than he probably deserves at this point in his career because they need to fill the void, and they still have a top 3 infield in baseball. So I think they're fine. I think they lose a lot, obviously, with Freddie, but who's a better baseball player, Freddie Freeman or Ronald Acuna?
Ronald Acuna. You're checking youth over the age.
No, not even forget the youth. Forget the youth just right now. Like who's better? It's Ronald Acuna.
Just raw talent.
Oh yeah.
It's Ronald Acuna.
Right
and
now.
so you replace...
and now here's the thing that's scary. Well, not really scary because they probably won't get too high in the division maybe because of this. But Ronald Acuna, he's going to miss the beginning of the season because he's still coming back from the ACL. So that gives them a little bit of a pushback on their start. I don't know how much because they still performed without him at the end of the season. So is that going to be too detrimental for them? I don't think so.
Well, they're going to lose most likely the World Series MVP in Soler. He's probably going to go to LA, which just sickens me how many big names go to LA. I don't know how to have the roster spots for these guys. I swear a new guy signs to LA every other week, and I don't get it.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's actually crazy. And you know, LA, we mentioned Freddie Freeman. LA is probably gonna snag Freddie Freeman if the Braves aren't willing to spend the bag on him. I know Freddie Freeman would love to stay in Atlanta, but Freddie Freeman will leave for $1 million extra a year. I'm convinced of that. He will do it. He wants to get the money that he has earned because he has never truly gotten paid by Atlanta. He is Mr. Brave at this point. Like, if he retired today, he would be Ryan Zimmerman, Mr. National for the Braves. Which is kind of crazy.
Chipper Jones? What about Chipper Jones, man?
Chipper Jones is different. Like, Freddie, embodied everything Brave. It's weird. Like, you don't have to be the best player ever there to be that guy, you know? And
Fair.
I think Freddie
he was there when they were down in the dumps.
Chipper Jones was never really there when they were bad because when Chipper was there, they were always good.
Good, yeah.
Freddie was there when they were terrible
they were pretty bad.
The early 2010s. Like, they were bad.
And they won a ring.
And now they won a ring. It was full, like, almost LeBron. Like, Freddie Freeman, not single-handedly at all. Like, there's plenty of guys who played better than him in the playoffs, but broke the Atlanta curse.
Yeah.
Atlanta had a curse, like a sick curse. And, now Georgia winds up winning after that, and you got a couple of things going on in Atlanta now. And but he might end up in L.A., and L.A. might have the actual – if L.A. gets – Freddie Freeman, right? Mm-hmm. Even though they lost Corey Seager, is this the most talented roster in MLB history outside of, like, the Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth, outside of those Yankees teams that were
almost a super team at this point? If the Dodgers get Freddie Freeman, and
they already are a super team in my opinion, but
they are.
But from top to bottom at every single position, they have high end guys. I mean, they have a top 3 player at literally every position outside of maybe third base. And if you throw Max Muncy at third base, make him full time there, I might argue he's a top 3 third baseman in baseball. He's not, but hitting wise, he might be somewhere in that realm.
The Dodgers get even more scary now with the DH also.
Yeah, you can just rotate. Oh my god!
Yeah,
that's the thing, because now you can use these pieces even more than what they already are.
Pujols had a great year last year against lefties. You're telling me he only has to play against lefties and he can have 3 or 4 at-bats a game? He might go 25 home runs next year.
Yeah, and God forbid, God forbid David Price or Trevor Bauer comes back next season.
Or Dustin May is healthy at some point.
Or Dustin May. God, dude, the freaking redheaded guy, he throws like 109 miles an hour. Watching his mechanics, I will say, as a baseball player, his mechanics are very beautiful. He gets very, long and down the mound, and his hip to shoulder separation.
It helps when you're
beautiful.
6'10",
Dude, it's literally.
It helps when you're 6'10".
And Andrew Heaney now they also have.
Heaney dog. Cy Young favorite, Andrew Heaney.
Yeah, there's a lot of
don't say that horrid name to me.
Cy Young favorite, Andrew Heaney.
Yeah, and then you got Austin Barnes behind the plate, and you have so many guys. And the thing, they have depth too, which is crazy behind each position. Yeah. Will Smith can catch if you know what I'm saying. Will Smith can come and catch.
Breaking news. Matt Olson to the Braves. Freddie Freeman's going to the Dodgers.
On the Spectators, breaking news.
Man, Matt Olson.
Make sure to follow @_the Spectators for more breaking news when we're not live.
Facts.
Man.
Matt Olson. That's
Matt
really
Olson
nice.
to the Braves. I'm devastated.
Okay.
Well, the Yankees season's over. I'm just gonna call that now. Where the Yankees season's toast.
What is he going to the Braves? Was he a free agent?
No, it's a trade. Matt Olson trade.
Or what?
I don't know. Pasana's not said yet. Pasana's not said yet.
They're not trading Freddie Freeman for that now.
No, Freddie Freeman was a free agent, so
yeah, okay.
Freddie Freeman is likely the Braves likely figured out they're not gonna pay Freddie.
That's crazy.
So Freddie Freeman is likely going to the Dodgers or the Yankees at this point. I'm gonna throw the Yankees in there because if Olson's off the table, the Yankees might just throw a bag. I'm just gonna throw that out. Yeah. They might throw a bag. Oakland and Atlanta in agreement on a trade that will send star first baseman Matt Olson to the Braves. Remember we just said the Braves are gonna go after Anthony Rizzo, and they'll still be good. This is a significant upgrade over Anthony Rizzo.
They're even better.
The Braves are going to be fine.
They're even better.
The
now.
Braves are going to be fine.
Oh man.
As long as they don't give up too much in this trade, which they might.
You get a left-handed hitter for a younger left-handed Matt Olson who can hit 39 bombs.
Bro, Matt Olson's so good.
That's the crazy. That's the this is actually an interesting play here, right? You get Matt Olson. He's a lot younger than Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, he's 27.
This core of Olson, Riley, Albies, Ronald Acuna Jr. That is a young, dangerous team. The Braves might be good for another 10 years. I actually love this move. I love this.
This is.
The thing is,
did anybody see this
coming? Together for 10 years, though.
No,
yeah, that's going to be the thing to keep them together for 10 years.
This is a dangerous move.
Did anybody see this coming?
Oh man,
Matt Olson gets to go back to his hometown in Atlanta, Georgia. Shout out Matt Olson, man.
Wow.
Shout out Matt Olson.
Well,
and already
breaking. Jeez, this literally happened. It popped up. I got the Passan notification the second I interrupted you. So that's wow.
I don't even know where we just left off. That just derailed everything.
let's just get right into the outfielders that are left, man. I guess. What's up with Schwarber, man? I need him out of Boston.
Schwarber's 100% going to go National League because I think he's going to be a DH type beat. He'll get out of Boston.
He can go anywhere.
Yeah.
DH is there.
That's the thing now. When we look at these guys, not even just this year, but years to come, guys that wouldn't go to the American League or wouldn't go to the National League because of the type of player they are, and you just split their destination in half. Now it opens the door for the whole entire league to get just a slugger.
Yeah, that's anywhere. He can go anywhere because I mean, if you take away that new CBA that just happened, Kyle Schwarber's probably staying in Boston, if not somewhere in the American League. He's not, unless he's filling that void that to play outfield. But I mean, not really taking Kyle Schwarber's hurt knee in the outfield.
Quick little pivot back to this Oakland trade. Oakland got fleeced again. Classic Oakland A's. They get a lot of prospects. The best prospect they get back is Christian Pache. Christian Pache was highly touted for a long time. The offense just never really got to where people expected. He's super fast, 5-tool player if he can hit the ball. He has power, but he's just not pieced it together as a professional yet. So Christian Pache, Shea Longaris, I can't pronounce half these names, just so you know.
Yeah.
Ryan Cusick and Joey Estes for Matt Olson. Yankees couldn't put a better thing than that.
Listen, man. At least your team's making something happen during this offseason.
Let's go ahead and talk about that. The New York Yankees. We thought they were sleeping. I'm still not convinced they were sleeping. I'm convinced that Steinbrenner's son actually sent the text to the Twins for this trade because I do think that Steinbrenner and Cashman are actually in bed in Cabo somewhere thinking the lockout is still happening. They put their phones on Do Not Disturb, and they're just hanging out getting some rays. The Yankees trade former touted prospect and really the guy who kind of started the baby bombers movement, Gary Sanchez, and Gio Urshela, 2 starters on this team, to the Minnesota Twins for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, who they just got in that trade with Texas, and Josh Donaldson, and I honestly can't pronounce the catcher's name. Ben Rortvert.
Or so
V's
sorry,
and
Ben,
D's. Yeah, there's no disrespect.
You're my guy now.
Yeah,
you're a king.
No disrespect. Your name just has letters that don't usually go next to each other.
I don't know.
But I'm sure you're a king.
We'd love to have you on the pod. And
this is the first trade in sports history that I think both teams benefited from, yet nobody that has seen it is happy. I don't think there's a Twins or a Yankees fan that's excited about this trade. But I do think both teams kind of get a little bit better and get some positives out of it.
As like a fan who's like a completely opposite, like I have no relationship towards the Yankees or any type of relationship towards
the Twins.
Minnesota. I think this is like a
it almost feels like an even trade. It almost like makes sense when you like look at it like objectively, but like it's so weird because like the Yankees get rid of their starting catcher. and they're starting third
bad
baseman.
catcher, a bad catcher in the position.
Yeah, defensively awful.
Yeah.
With a crazy high hitting ceiling, and if he gets
One of the
anywhere,
best bats when
Bad.
he's on his game in the league.
yeah.
Again, though, a DH though type of guy, Gary Sanchez could end up potentially being.
Well, and that's kind of
and
what
that was the issue with the Yankees. We were so deep that how do you put him at DH?
you can't put him at
You
DH.
can't. You can't.
So the Twins are actually planning on moving him to DH and like a part-time catcher, backup, split off day type of catcher deal. DH primarily. You have Gio Urshela, who I think is actually going to play shortstop for the Twins. He's going to play a combo of short, third, some combination of that. And the Yankees get Ben, who's going to platoon. He's a lefty catcher, defense first. The Yankees have the best two defensive catchers in the league now, because these are like elite framers. And in the new CBA, robo-umps didn't come in. So framing still matters. And these are probably the two best framing catchers in baseball. Josh Donaldson
come in. No more.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Once robo-umps come in, like Ben doesn't have a career. He's a bag boy. But Josh Donaldson, if he can stay healthy, still has some power in him. Yankee Stadium, super hitter friendly. He doesn't have to face Garrett Cole anymore, so he's saving himself about 9 to 10 strikeouts a year just on that.
Yeah.
Now, do they get along? I have to imagine Garrett Cole was just like, hey, like they had to have gone up to Garrett and be like, is this cool? And he was like, whatever helps us win, right? Because there's no way they make this trade.
And we were talking about this last night when the trade happened. Like, I don't really think it matters, the beef between them, because it is what it is. Garrett's a pitcher. Donaldson's an infielder. Like, you let them live their life. If they got beef, they got beef. Cool. Whatever.
You can squash some beef if you're about to win a race.
I hope they can. I don't think Garrett's one to like hold a grudge. I think Donaldson is, and hopefully they can figure that out. But
so you guys do lose a little bit of pitching though, as the Yankees. Again, like we mentioned a little earlier, Andrew Heaney went to went to the Dodgers.
That's not losing pitching. I'm gonna just be honest with you.
We wanted
Corey Kluber.
Corey Kluber's a loss, certainly.
It is, but those are two people that we're very okay with losing.
Yeah,
like,
and the Rays, he might have a good little stint with the Rays too, so that would be cool.
That's fine.
You mentioned Andrew Heaney though, and I'm just gonna be very honest with you. Andrew Heaney's a cool dude. I hope in LA he figures something out. He was objectively the worst starting pitcher I have ever seen in a Yankees uniform.
Fair.
And
we had Sonny Gray at home games.
There's no ill will to the guy. I hope he does.
You guys lose your boy with the best shoe game on the Yankees. Clint Frazier's gone.
Good. Clint Frazier does go to the Cubs, and I mean that's cool for them.
He has the best shoe game.
Clint is el tóxico in the relationship, and I am very happy he's gone. I think when Clint was in the dugout, with all the hate that he heard from Yankees fans, I think he was in the dugout pouting the whole time. And you know when you guys are at work and you're with a coworker and they're just upset the whole shift and it brings the mood down for no reason, like you're just trying to vibe and like it's a normal like Wednesday and there's me. That was Clint Frazier. That was Clint Frazier.
I fully agree with that.
And so I'm happy he's out and in.
And I loved his training videos with his cats. Great stuff.
It was fun.
They taught him how to play defense.
Yeah.
Love the guy. Love his shoe game. Love all that. He was a great hitter. Didn't really get a chance to really play and get that consistency to be a consistent hitter throughout time. But I mean, change of scenery is going to be nice.
Yeah.
He should be a decent player with Chicago. I do think he'll fit in nicely over there. He won't have the expectations. And we actually said that about Gary Sanchez as well. Not having those New York Yankee expectations where you're getting booed if you don't produce. And the Cubs will just be okay with that. In a sense of like, okay, get there.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
The Cubs won't start booing for another couple of years. They won their World Series. Give them like 4 more years, then they might start booing.
And then, so what happens when you guys trade Rizzo? What do you guys do?
Well, Rizzo's a free agent, so we might not even.
We don't have Rizzo.
What happens when you get rid of him? So like he's gone. He doesn't sign back.
Well, as of now, Luke Voigt's the starting first baseman. As of now.
Oh, okay. I forgot about Luke Voigt.
I mean, we still live our life with Luke. We still live our life with Luke Voigt. Like, don't forget what Luke Voigt is.
You just Luke Voigt upgrade. He's injury prone, and
that's the issue with him.
You know, he has a lot of issues to his game that the Yankees would love to upgrade. But That's
And now the thing is, I think we're only okay long term with this Donaldson move if we get Correa, if we get Story. If we don't get either of them, you look at this
I don't
move
know.
and have to sit with Isaiah kind of Falefa or Glaber Torres at short, and you're sitting here like, well,
if you're thinking about
here
it
we
though,
go again.
well, are you are like I personally, if I'm looking at it, I'm most definitely gonna have Gio Urshela playing third base over Josh Donaldson. So
I don't think
as
he's
right
better.
now,
I don't think he's better. I think Donaldson's better. They've both been
I don't
equally
know.
as hurt over the last couple of years. Donaldson's a better hitter,
You just take
At this
They're
point
both-
right now,
guaranteed
Gio
beats
has a
over-
better glove.
but like
Gio-
marginally.
Yeah, Gio probably has a
Gio makes
more
better plays. He's not an actual better defender.
consistent bat. So I mean, cool.
I think I don't know.
Look, I love Gio. I love Gio.
Yeah, I'm
but
just gonna
I mean,
miss Gio personally.
if you can have a former MVP regardless of where he is right now and the age, like you take that.
Yeah.
You take that because here's the thing. You still have DJ LeMahieu regardless of what happened last year. I do think he'll have a better year this year. Maybe not to the point of what he did his first year, but if you can meet somewhere in the middle of that, DJ LeMahieu sliding in as a backup over Josh Donaldson at third base and being that utility guy bouncing around the infield, I do think that's a good move. You live your life with that. You're not mad at that.
I want to talk about a small signing the Yankees made that it's not significant. I don't think he even makes the team unless there's injuries. Ronald Guzman gets signed to a minor league contract with the Yankees. This is only important because Ronald Guzman 2 years ago had a 3 home run game against the Yankees, and after the game he had an interview. And Guzman's a Dominican, right? So typically Dominicans tend to be Yankees or Red Sox fans. And there was a lot of Yankees fans that grew up around him. He grew up hating the Yankees because of how loud and bombastic his friends were about the Yankees. And he hit a 3 home run game against them and said, "I can't stand them. I know they all hate me now." And now he is a New York Yankee. I think that's kind of a funny little round table, full circle.
And stuff like that is great because, like, regardless of what happens in your childhood and while you're in the league with different teams, fans, and different teams, once you get to that team,
you're a pro.
If it happens, like, you just embrace it. Like, everything goes out the window, and whatever you got to do in your brain to make it work. Maybe now he just goes nuts, and he just, like, curses out every one of his friends, like, I don't want to hear this, like, blah, blah, blah. Whatever he does, that's cool. And to have that villain type of player, I like it, whether it happens or not. And that's the same thing with Correa. He's a Yankee villain. A lot of Yankee fans say that they don't want him, and they're weird. Yeah. But you take Correa and you embrace that. And I feel like he does too, because you're coming to a hated franchise.
So do you guys think that your Yankees have a match in the AL East right now? Man, do you guys think?
I think if the Yankees don't make another move, we get 4th in the AL East.
Yeah, as of right now, we're dog. Like, the Rays.
The team is still. I still think the Yankees are actually like the most talented team in the AL East. Let's just get that out of the way. But
they still contend for the division. But I'm not comfortable with it.
Arguably, the AL East is the hardest division in baseball, and it has been for the last 15 years.
Outside of last year in the NL West, but that's like a 1 year kind of.
If you look
I
at
do think the NL East right now is really dangerous.
The NL East is. It can be.
I think the Nationals
and Marlins stink. I think the Phillies aren't really that good either. Truly.
Yeah. Again, the only team that's kind of bad in the AL East in the past 5 years has been the Orioles.
And that's the thing, though. The Orioles got some young guys.
They're still going to be bad this year. But Adley Rushing,
they are. They are.
Cool.
But I mean, when you have in the year of 2018, your third place team winning 90 games and becoming in third place, your team winning 90 games and you're in third place in your division. That tells you something.
How many games did the Blue Jays win? Were they 91 and they didn't make the playoffs?
No, 90. Yeah, again,
the Blue Jays win 91 and 71, Yankees 92-70, Boston 92-70.
91 games for 4th.
And Rays 162.
Again, so you have 90 win games and teams are coming in third place, yet the Atlanta Braves or St. Louis Cardinals are clinching their division with 89 wins. You know what I'm saying?
Ugly.
It's
And that's
again,
the
it's a
thing. Like
dogfight.
the Blue Jays are dangerous. They're
So
young
dangerous.
core. They scare
Yeah,
me every
they have a
year.
great
And you
mix.
add Kikuchi and Gosman to that. That's nice.
And they have
Yeah.
a great mix. And then again, still you have your for almost MVP and Vlad Guerrero Jr., Bo Bichette still young. Again, you just got
That young
pieces.
core is ridiculous.
Yeah, pieces. But again, let's just shift gears real quick and talk about a little bit something else. You know, I'm talking about those Rays, man. I think they clinching out that East right now, man. What you think? What y'all thinking?
I think the Rays are going to be the Rays. They're gonna
Yeah, they're gonna be good.
be that weird
They'll be
team hovering around there,
They'll
and
be good.
depending how bad everybody else is, will be as good as the Rays will be. Simple as that.
Yeah.
I don't think the Rays, strictly off of their skill and how they are isolated like that, are gonna take control of this division. No, they're not that good. They're good. They're a good team. They run their team very well and they put it together, but not enough to just run off into the sunset winning the division.
Yeah.
They're not.
I think
They're not.
I think we win the division out again, but I again see
Take the
against some of
jersey and take the shirt off and say that
The,
again.
good- the
I'll
good
say-
news, the good news is for both of us. I think the Red Sox take a step back, so that's nice.
Yeah,
I think they
like they
lost-
get
I think-
Paxton.
I think they lose too much
Hey,
hitting.
they grabbed Michael Walker off of us. I'll take that. Thank you.
They
Lord.
did upgrade their
We'll take
pitching a
that.
lot. I do think they just lost too much hitting and defense. Like losing Hunter Renfroe is tough.
Yeah.
Where did Hunter go?
Brewers.
Wow, not
Yeah.
bad.
Brewers. I was
Oh.
convinced that Nelson Cruz was going to go to the Brewers, and if
Hmm.
Nelson Cruz went to the Brewers, I had a World Series favorite locked in, but he didn't, so I don't.
Man, I'm sick of Nelson Cruz. We don't need to talk about him no more.
You're right. We won't talk about Nelson Cruz or baseball anymore because we're an hour into this episode and we need to talk about a couple of football things that happened because there were some really big things
You see that? It may be a little backwards right
from
now.
both of our teams actually.
You see it.
Tom
You
Brady's
see it.
back. Tom
The GOAT.
Brady's retirement
Yes.
lasted less than the MLB lockout or more.
It did. It was like 40 days, and
Yeah.
the MLB lockout lasted like
99.
99. Yeah, so it was crazy.
99
So Tom
days.
Brady was out of the sport for less time than the MLB as a whole, which is stupid. But Brady's back, and
Real quick before you get into that, right? With Brady being back, just to show you how much of an effect this man has, the odds for the Bucks to win the Super Bowl cut in half. It went from 20 to 1 to 10 to 1 to win the Super Bowl.
the Bucks were
And
20 to
then
1.
20 to 1 to win the Super Bowl because Brady retired, and then went to automatically to 10 to 1. And then to win their division, or to win the NFC, they went from 10 to 5, I believe.
That's crazy.
So everything got cut right in half. We went to Tom
That-
Brady.
Can you
that's-
blame him?
That's
Can you
the
blame
Brady
him?
effect.
And then even the better part, before you even get into trades, shout out my guy who sold Tom Brady's last football for a huge bag.
Bro, he got the
Ran
bag,
up-
500K.
Yes.
500K.
The guy that,
Wow.
and here's the thing, this timeline is so crazy because the day before, the footballs bought at auction for 500K.
Yeah.
The couple hours between that time, Brady and Ronaldo are talking to each other. Ronaldo's like, "You done?" Brady's like,
He's like,
"Ah."
hey, wait.
And then a couple hours
Hold
after
on, wait a
that,
minute.
Brady announces his return. And
He's like,
it's just
he's like, watch this, Ronaldo.
Bink. Let me send this tweet and send the world into a frenzy real quick.
Real quick.
really like
So,
Yeah,
So
and-
again, so now what is that? What does that mean for football?
That
Tom
there's-
Brady's back.
That there's 3 teams in the NFC you're worried about instead of 2.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's cool because there was a second where we were like, wow, the AFC is just like insanely more talented at the quarterback position. And they still are as a
they
whole.
still are.
As a
Yeah,
whole,
yeah,
they certainly
yeah.
still are, especially with what Russell Wilson going over there to Denver. Did we talk about that last week? I don't even remember. Oh, I don't think we did. I don't know. Russell Wilson's on the Denver Broncos now.
I think that happened after our episode.
I think it did too. We didn't even talk
it-
about Russell Wilson going to the Broncos. Russell
Bro,
Wilson's a
this
Bronco.
this week has been insane.
Mitchell Trubisky's on Pittsburgh. He's their QB1 now. I would be so upset.
I mean,
I would be
Russell
so
Wilson going
sad.
to the Broncos, I feel like it doesn't like fix the whole thing. Like it doesn't fix everything.
They only needed the quarterback. That's all they needed.
Well,
Broncos are a good team.
That's all they
Well,
needed.
we'll see.
Broncos are winning 10
I-
games next
What do
year.
you mean,
Book
Nico?
it. Book it.
Nico, what do you mean?
Book it.
I hope
10
so.
games.
I'm not. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to say anything, but
But you're saying
I'll just
something.
say.
So say it with your chest. Say it with your chest, Nico.
Bro, Russell Wilson had Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf.
And he had the worst offensive line of football.
That's fair.
Terrible
That's
O-line.
super fair.
Terrible
Super
O-line.
fair. Super
And
fair.
he was hurt.
Awful O-line.
And he was hurt.
Awful O-line. Fair. But I'm just saying, like, yeah, I'd take those two wide receivers over who? Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
And
Cortland Sutton. But Cortland Sutton and Jared Jeudy are nice, though.
Nice.
are.
Not
They're
bad.
nice, though.
Not bad.
They are.
But again, and now Russell needs to perform, though.
Yeah.
In the Mile High.
They're probably going to draft a wide receiver in this draft, too, I'd imagine. They'll probably get one.
Would probably be the best thing for them to do.
Yeah, get another wide receiver because I like the running back situation.
Yeah.
Like they have Williams and Melvin Gordon, so they kind of have a two horse punch. Their O line's better than Seattle's was. It's not the best O line in the league.
They'll
but
play better too, man. They'll play better too because the same thing happened with the Bucks when Tom went there, man. The Bucks O line wasn't as like great. I mean, yeah, they picked up Tristan Wirfs the year Tom Brady went there, but you get that type of quarterback in with you, you're gonna play a lot better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Versus like when you have who they have, Drew Lock.
Also, keep in mind, Russ has
outside of Teddy
never
Bridge.
had a top 20 O line ever.
Yeah.
If he can have the 15th best O line, he might be the best quarterback of all time. Like, who knows? We don't know.
Just going back to wide receivers, not saying he's going there, but this is something to look at. You get another free agent wide receiver on the board now when the Browns released Jarvis Landry.
Yeah. And the crazy thing about Jarvis, too, and that I think is going to be incredibly undervalued by a couple of teams, he might be the second best blocking wide receiver in the league outside of Cooper Kupp. Like, he is an elite blocker.
Yeah.
And that's something that gets undervalued by fans, and Jarvis is really good at it. So his numbers don't fully stand out, especially kind of what we've seen that he potentially could be. Maybe it's because of Baker, though. Maybe Jarvis goes somewhere else.
Nah.
That's not Miami with bad quarterbacks or with Baker Mayfield, and he balls out.
With bad quarterback. Just bad quarterbacks.
Baker Mayfield's
Jarvis
bad.
a quarterback.
Yeah.
No, he's bad. Doing too much off-field stuff, in my opinion.
Bad.
But that's everyone's like opinion.
At this point.
I
I
think Jarvis Landry getting released is good for him. You know, it's good. Shout out Jarvis. Good for you. You don't want to be in Cleveland. You don't want to be in Cleveland. Odell literally proved it and showed us like.
Yeah.
Was it
Cleveland is Shaq.
No matter how much Cleveland tries to trick the National Football League and their fans,
they tried to trick us.
The Browns are gonna brown.
No,
dude, it's like the
Browns
Mets,
are
man.
That.
It's
Browns
like the
are gonna
Mets,
brown.
man.
Mets are gonna Mets.
Cleveland.
And those are two things that you could book every year. It doesn't matter. No matter what they do, no matter how they look.
Pacers gonna Pacers. I feel like.
Sure.
Pacers gonna Pacers.
I feel like it's
Pacers
more
gonna
of Knicks are
Pacers.
gonna nick, but yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
it's
part of
more
that
that.
too.
Yeah,
They're part of that too.
Knicks ain't have like a complete team like Reggie Miller back in them day. Yeah. Oh, well,
they literally had a
That's fair.
just as
Nah,
good
they
team
did.
back
They
then.
did,
They
yeah.
literally.
Well, since we just
Knicks.
came over to NBA for no reason, and I don't know what the reason is, LeBron James, GOAT, first and only player to have 30,000 points,
Nobody else will ever do it. by the way.
10,000 rebounds, and 10,000 assists.
Still going.
Nobody else
Still
will ever
going.
do that.
Still
Just want that
playing.
to be known. There's not a single person that'll ever do that again.
So go ahead, make your case.
Unless like Luca plays for 20 years, then maybe like a guy
I don't
Luka.
even care. I don't even care.
The only way somebody does it is if they play 20 years.
Healthy too,
Healthy 20 years.
because you can play 20 years, but you're not playing.
Missed 4 of those years, yeah.
Exactly. So LeBron James,
Best ever
Insane.
do it. Don't care. And next year he'll have the most points of all time too. So
Oh wow! Look at this. Jaguars are expected to sign Christian Kirk. How real is this?
interesting.
Yeah, we're not here for rumors.
Yeah.
Zach Ertz
Only
signed
breaking
a
news.
3-year extension with the Cardinals. Kind of cool.
Yep.
Yeah,
Michael
right.
Gallup signed a 5-year extension with the Dallas Cowboys. Less cool because
That's
they got rid of
nice.
Amari Cooper, and Cooper's better. So, and they gave
Ah.
Cooper's better,
Yeah,
and they gave
yeah,
Gallup
Michael
5
Gallup.
years, $62 million. So it's like they got him for cheap. Like it wasn't a team friendly deal at all.
I like Michael Gallup's hands though, man. He has some really
That's
nice
fine.
hands.
He's a
good
wide
at
receiver
for
3.
work.
Now here's an interesting thing that came out today. Devontae Adams tells the Packers that he won't play under the franchise tag in 2022.
Good. He shouldn't.
No, absolutely.
He shouldn't.
And they have every intention of doing it.
Yeah, good. Don't. The franchise tag is the worst thing in sports. We've talked about it before. The worst thing in sports, it's actually just like owners taking advantage of people. And I mean, they're getting paid, but they're getting paid less than they likely would have because they're getting the average as opposed to making a new bar. And that's why it exists, because owners are cheap. Kirk Cousins. We're going to talk Vikings real quick. Kirk Cousins. Woohoo. I don't know how happy I am about this, but it's a thing. Signs a 1-year extension. 35 fully guaranteed. I think
fun little fact about Kirk Cousins, if you didn't know, from like 2016 to 2021, he's like the highest paid like cash quarterback.
Yeah.
You like that?
Aaron Rodgers, Matt Ryan, Russell Wilson,
and you know what?
Tom
Good for Kirk. I think Kirk's like deserved the money. It's not his fault the defense is bad.
Yeah. We talk about it every year. The Vikings are just so weird because they're so good, but then they're so bad. And
they're a top amazing 5 talented team every season, but
they remind me of like weird. The Padres.
Yeah, that's a great comp. I think the Padres are good. We'll see how it all kind of works out with a new coach and offensive coach. The issue with the Vikings, this is kind of Vikings fan bias here. They haven't had an offensive coordinator stay for more than 1 season in the last 6 years. They've gone through 6 coordinators in 6 seasons.
Who did you guys just hire your head coach now, right?
Kevin O'Connell. So he's an offensive guy. At the bare minimum, the offense will stay the same for 2 years. Unless he gets fired in 2 years, then that's different. But at the bare minimum, for the rest of this contract, Kirk Cousins will have an offensive scheme that is the same. And so, for whatever that's worth, is what it's worth. Packers do some weird stuff. They release Za'Darius Smith. That was an odd one.
They just had to clean up more room. That's, I guess, all. But I don't know why
by getting rid of your best edge rusher, when edge rushing is maybe the most important defensive position, a little weird.
2 other big pieces. Amari Cooper goes to the Browns, so Browns get the replacement for Jarvis Landry. But here's the other. That was just a little lob in there. Had to throw it in. But Deshaun Watson is a free man. No charges will be given to him, and the Panthers and Saints have scheduled meetings with Deshaun for tomorrow.
Yeah, it'll be one of those 2 teams, I think, that'll end up snagging him. You don't think so?
What? No, it'll be the Panthers or the Saints. I think it'll be one.
I thought you said no.
No, that's not what I said.
Oh no, I think it'll be one of those 2 teams. But again, with Tom Brady coming back, I mean.
Yeah.
I also wanted to be known that during this episode, we have had 11 signed contracts in the NFL during this episode. And a lot of them are small. Brandon Sheriff is not
Christian
a small
Kirk
one.
signed.
Brandon Sheriff, guard with Jacksonville. That's a big guard signing. I don't know the years on that. Braxton Berrios, 2-year deal with
I gotta go get my jersey now.
Braxton Berrios is actually a pretty talented dude, and they got him for $6 million.
I like Berrios.
No, that's nice. That's a good deal. And then Christian Kirk does sign with Jacksonville too. So Jacksonville makes a pair of moves.
No, they made a couple moves because they also got Fourier. I'm gonna butcher his name.
Oh yeah, the linebacker. Yeah. I don't know who that is, but 3 year, $45 million. He might be good. I don't know. I mean, those moves have all happened during this episode, so that's kind of funny.
This has been nuts, and it's just gonna keep on getting even crazier.
It's gonna keep going. Well, I'll just switch back to baseball real quick because I just checked it. Chad Kuhl signs with Colorado. Nice.
Cool.
Nice.
Cool.
That's happened. Jake Lamb with the Dodgers too. Former great Jake Lamb, the meme lord himself. Yeah, man. So many things have happened. We couldn't really talk about everything. Deshaun's free. Like, Deshaun Watson was a top 3 quarterback in this league before everything happened, and he hasn't really played in the last season and a half. He was a top 3 quarterback in this league. And he might go to the Saints, which would be sick.
BJ Hill just re-signed.
Is that the defensive tackle?
Bengals. Yeah, for the Bengals.
Okay. He was good. He had a good year, right?
Yeah, he had a good year. Defense had a great year.
Yeah, he had a good year. So
they all deserve money.
There was a signing for the Bengals that you were talking about earlier, Nico.
freaking Alex Capa. That hurts. I thought it'd be good though for Joe Burrow though. He's gonna get a nice beefy, nice meaty man in that Alex Capa trade, dude. Pause.
What do you mean by that?
He's a big guy, man. He's offensive.
What do you
line.
mean by
Listen,
that?
man. Listen.
Okay.
That's a nice, meaty, beefy man.
That's how you guys know this episode has lasted too long. We have talked about everything. If you guys felt a little, everywhere at this episode, it's because we were everywhere. Because there's so much to talk about. I'm sure we missed some stuff.
Oh, we definitely.
I was gonna. Yeah. Speaking of that, I was gonna ask you. How about the best trade of the NFL that's gone so far? And Carson Wentz going to the Commanders now.
We didn't even talk about Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz gets traded to the Commanders. The Colts get absolutely fleeced after the Colts go all in to get Carson Wentz, so we laughed at them for doing it, and then they trade him for a bag of peanuts. And now Carson Wentz has to play the Eagles twice next year and the Colts. And he's going to lose all three of those games.
The Commanders weren't horrible, though. The Commanders were not.
No,
horrible.
They weren't, but this isn't even an upgrade. This is like if you have
nice. It's nice, but that's it.
So the question is for on the Commanders side. Okay, now you get Carson Wentz, or Taylor Heineke. Did they get rid of him or no?
I mean, Heineke's not going to start over Carson unless Carson's that bad, which he might be that bad.
Nah.
Carson Wentz stinks, dude.
I understand.
Heineke is 100%. Also not great. So
yeah, like Heineke's spunky.
I mean, if you're playing the Bucks, you need to start Heineke, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Like when they
Bucks for some reason.
Yeah, he just balls out against the Bucks.
Crib. In Washington, they balls out on us.
It's a very specific game that he has to play.
It's like when the Patriots go to Miami. The Patriots for some reason can't play in Miami.
This is true.
Weird. It's the Colts in Jacksonville. One of those weird things.
Oh wow! Wait, I didn't see Chris Moore signed with extended with Houston.
We can't keep doing this. We got to get out of here.
We're putting the lock on it.
We're putting the lock on.
Unless it's a big name.
Nah, and they're
just all popping up. They're literally just refresh. I refresh it, and there's two more.
Don't hit the button, Nico.
No more refresh.
Don't put the
refresh.
Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate every single one of you. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube, and follow us on all of our socials, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok @_the Spectators. We are happy to have brought you just Jeff Passenbaum. Literally the second it came out, we told you. And you're not going to hear it for another, probably 40 minutes after the fact. But that's not the point. Point is, we're on top. Jeff's the GOAT. Nico, Brooklyn, thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for talking. And we'll be back again later this week with some March Madness talk, because there's still more sports to talk about that happened in the last 7 days.
Make sure you fill out your brackets.
Fill out your brackets.
South Dakota State, man.
Join the Spectators bracket, and we'll see you guys next time. Later, everybody.
Peace.